right, Coach. Well, first of all, you look at the group of guys you return. I mean, you've got a really strong base of 2020, 2021 guys returning that you've got to be really optimistic about the future of the program here at Westside.
Yeah, we're really excited. You know, offensively, we return most of our guys. Our entire backfield returns. We only lost 2 guys on the line, but we got two-year returning starters on the offensive line, and Kaden and Jackson, and we got a lot of young, skilled wideouts coming up. Even our freshman class has a few talented kids, so we're really excited about reloading this year.
Yeah, you first start with Kaden and Avante. I mean, we talked like I think in the spring or the summer. You know, it's really rare at Westside to have freshmen start varsity, and I think there maybe have only been 3 or 4 in the history of the school.
That's right.
I mean, what made these 2 kids unique from the get-go to be up with you, and now they're going to be going into their 3rd year as a starter?
Well, talent, of course, is number one, but 1A is coachability. They both came up, were coachable from day one, adapted to our schemes, our techniques, and they're just extremely coachable day to day, and they went out to practice every day and worked hard. And once we saw that, their talent took over, and they're pretty special young men, and they didn't let us down last year. They led our team in their positions, and we're looking forward to them doing it again this year.
Well, freshman year, I wasn't starting until the 5th game, and that's when I got my first start against Burke, and then I got my first pick that game actually, and then just from there I just started working harder and being able to keep going and keep this going. And then for track freshman year, I made it to state and for the 200, and I placed 8th in state. So it's just, I just want to keep going. I like how I'm doing right now, so I'm just going to keep on pushing.
My freshman year, I got the opportunity to start on the offensive line, and I took advantage of the situation, and I loved it. I love football, and then and then going to wrestling season, I had the opportunity to also wrestle on varsity, and I loved it. I went to state, and now I'm back at state again this year. So it's been a great experience so far.
Yeah, I know Avante, his freshman year, you said he guarded Xavier Betts from Bellevue West, and played him as tough as anybody, and he was a young freshman.
You bet.
I mean, when did you realize he had that talent, and how much better is he going to get?
Yeah, in the summer, we saw him starting to guard some of the better players around in 7-on-7, which is even tougher, to be honest with you, because of the wide openness and the passing. But we just saw his athleticism and speed is some of the best we've had here in a long time. But he's got a great knack to play the position. He's a pure corner. He understands when the ball's coming out. His eye discipline is the best we've had in a long time. For that young a player to have that kind of eye discipline is pretty special. And once you have that at corner, you can play the ball well, you can play the receiver well, and he's been able to put it all together.
You went to Nebraska's camp last summer, and I think you ran the fastest 40, and you also ran, I believe, the fastest 40 at the mega camp in St. Louis. How much did kind of recruiting pick up for you once word got out there with your speed and kind of what you did at some of those camps last summer?
Well, running that 40 I didn't even know I ran that 40, to be honest. I didn't even know I was running that fast. And then I found out, and then just colleges started coming in and starting to look at me. I was like, this can get somewhere, actually.
Minnesota and Iowa State and South Dakota State have offered. Nebraska's been in your building twice. A number of other teams. I mean, just kind of run down the teams you think are the most interested right now in Avante.
Well, a couple teams have said offers are probably forthcoming. They want to check on his grades and his academic progress, and he's getting a lot of attention. But it's early yet, and I remind him of that. He's just a mid-year sophomore, and there's no hurry. And I think as the track season rolls around, the summer rolls around, I think he's going to see a lot of attention. And that's not what he's focused on, though. He's just focused on becoming better as an athlete and making our football team better. And that's what I love about him.
Oh, they're just telling me just stay focused on school. Don't get really caught up in the recruiting thing. Just stay in school, stay focused, and just keep doing what you're doing.
And I mean, just as far as like what you're looking for, do you want to be close to home, particular conference, playing time? I mean, when you start to kind of evaluate your college the next couple of years, what are the things that you're going to be looking at the closest?
I mean, I'm not really looking right now. I'm just having colleges come to me and see. It's just a one-time thing. Like, this is only one-time thing you can process, and one-time thing in life. So just enjoy it.
And you mentioned Nebraska's been in here a couple of times. What's Barrett Root had to say?
Well, yeah, they all say they're close to offering, but it hasn't come yet. So we'll see what that looks like down the line and what the holdup is. They got to get in the room and talk about him and see where things go. So we'll see.
And then Kaden, also a standout wrestler. Where do you see him projecting, and how do you see him getting bigger over time?
Well, he's just getting better at both sides of the ball. Defensively, we kind of held him off the defense his freshman year, but last year we inserted him, and he's tough to move. Now this year is just getting him off blocks and running down the line and making plays. And with his wrestling experience and his grappling experience, he's going to transition into that well. And I see him being able to play either side of the ball, but defensively is something I think he'd be special at.
I feel myself getting bigger. I hopefully I get that extra inch or so, and then hopefully add a few more pounds. And I'll play anywhere at the next level, wherever they need me. But if I could choose, I would love to play defensive end or guard. I love both those positions.
And going through a lot of these other guys here, Jackson McMillan, you mentioned 6'3", 260. Has the chance, you think, to maybe get a lot of attention. What do you like about Jackson?
His toughness. I mean, he's really gotten tough. He's gotten strong. He's reshaped his body. He came in a little heavy last summer, but he's been able to slim all the way down to 240, and now he's building himself back up. So he's working real hard on himself and wants to become a better player, and he showed that on the field last year by being one of our best offensive linemen. Lots of pancakes. We don't keep track of the numbers anymore, but he was one of our toughest finishers last year, and we really love the way he finished.
Then Grant Taggy was an all-state guy for you last year as a linebacker, 6'2", 180. Now, is he Jerry Taggy's son then?
No, he's his dad's second cousin.
Okay. I saw the name. I saw it on the sheet, Jerry Taggy.
It's pretty distant, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he gets asked that a lot. But,
yeah.
6'2", 180, great student, 4'6", 40. Almost a 33-inch vertical. I mean, everything seems to be there right now.
Yeah.
What do you think needs to happen next for him?
Grant started as a sophomore. He's a little robotic, and he turned himself into a really good athlete last year as a junior, and certainly his play and his stats showed. He became tenacious, a tough hitter, but mainly just smart. He's a coach on the field, and I think next year the sky's the limit. In terms of where we play him, we're going to move him around a little bit, I believe, because he's just real valuable and real smart. But he runs our defense. He's also a pretty valuable catcher on offense when we want to put him over there and throw the ball up to him a little bit. So he's a pretty valuable guy, but just the fact that he's versatile because of his intelligence helps us use him in a lot of different areas.
Now, are you starting to see more teams come in and ask about him just based on the recognition he got last year?
Yeah, I think his play on the field really started attracting some people. And as I talked to other coaches, including some of the FCS schools, they're starting to look into him, want him to visit. So I think he's getting a little more attention just from his play on the field.
And then lastly, Cole Payton, your quarterback. I mean, you've had a run of great quarterbacks here, and Cole's another really good one that you guys have had. 6'2", 200-pound, big kid. What does he do well for you guys in your offense?
Well, he's real coachable. Coach Sikora does a great job with our quarterbacks and has for the last several years. But Cole's special. He picked up our concepts early. We had him mixing or splitting a lot of reps with 3 kids last summer, so I think we could have brought him along even quicker. But once we realized he was going to emerge and he started getting all the snaps right before the season started, he just blossomed. Made very few mistakes. As the year went along, we started using his legs a little bit more. He's a tough runner, and I think his upside's huge. And I think junior year you're going to see a big explosion from Cole.